Break the ice.
Coach, we've talked a lot about how much Taylor's grown over the years, but to see him throw that game-winning touchdown pass over the weekend, I mean, what'd you see out of him out there? What does it say about him?
Well, we say the same every week. Is Taylin's improving at a rapid rate, and he's playing beyond his experience level right now, and obviously we're very happy about it that he is.
Did you go back and watch that play? I mean, was Bowens obviously open, or was it one of those cases where Taylor trusted his receiver and just kind of put up a 50-50 ball?
It was a front side backside, so it was a little half roll play. So he was actually looking at Latrell on the right side. Latrell was covered. He went back to Billy. Billy was open, pretty good, a little before Taylin was ready to throw it, and so by the time the ball got there, it turned into more of a 50-50, and that was a really nice play by Billy there at the end on that part.
When it comes to Taylin, like, I'm not, whether it runs more or less, I don't care, but it just seemed like on that final drive, like, he did run a little bit more. He just seemed like he was cool in the moment and wanted to make plays, and what did you kind of see out of him and just his assertiveness and confidence on that drive that, that resulted in the go-ahead score?
Yeah, well, I think we called whatever we're calling that play, whatever you guys call it, that read type play that we were running the other night. I think we called it 18 times in the game, different versions, different formations, and so I'm never too worried about if Taylin is reading it wrong. Taylin reads it. He has to read it how he sees it. Like, I know people say, "Oh, I should have pulled that one. He should get," like, he's got about that long to make that decision. So, like, I'm not getting on him ever about he's doing a good job of that, and the fact that we have two really good running backs, that helps us in that, and we're getting movement at the line of scrimmage. So, Taylin, I so far really none of the moments in the game have been too big for him. I mean, he's out there playing football, and he's handled himself with a lot of composure.
Fluky's not the right word, but obviously when George fumbled it, bounced right into the guy and then he takes off running. But what did you make of that play? And I guess again, Taylin's wherewithal to get back and make that tackle.
Yeah, well, fluky is a good word for the fumble, because one, George isn't a fumbler, and then two, the fact that it popped right into the guy's hands, and they had 5-on-1 on Taylin right off the bat. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that Taylin was going to have enough speed to get behind him, but then to make a great tackle like he did, that's the second time he's done that this year, where he's made a pretty amazing tackle. And he told me a story last week that Gary Patterson at TCU offered him as a defensive end, and he'd never played defensive end in his life. So I guess Gary Patterson was pretty smart when he saw him play in high school.
Is that true?
Yeah. You can ask Taylin about that one once sometime.
He would have to put on like 50 pounds to play D-end.
Yeah, no, he's.
George is rarely on Twitter, but he felt so compelled after the game or so emotional. He went on there and said, "Hey, I'm going to be better." I mean, I don't know where you guys would be without 24. But
Yep.
what was your kind of conversation with him after the game? Because you saw him in the sidelines. He looked
Yeah.
down.
You should have seen him today in practice. He was acting like he had 72 padlocks around that football when he was carrying it every time. Like I said, George is not a fumbler, and that was a fluke is a good word. That was a fluky play. It's unfortunate, that it's in 4-minute offense when it was, but I'm not worried about that at all, and I tell George, don't worry about that. I mean, we don't want to take away all the great things George is doing.
Can you take me through the emotions of Ashton Bentley? Like, I think it was a 9-yard run, but it could have been a 4-yard loss, and then he retreated 13 yards. And he ran like 50 to pick up 9, or maybe even more than that.
Yeah, that was one of the. We've been doing a good job of having very few negative runs. That's one thing we haven't had, and that was going to be a negative run. We kind of got stacked up at the point of attack, so we were 2 or 3 yards in the backfield, and Ashton turned it in pretty much single-handedly to a big play and a positive play, and that's just one of the things that coaching-wise we talked to the whole offense about is, hey, our backs are capable of making plays like this, so don't give up on it just because it isn't initially exactly like it's drawn in the playbook. And that was I thought Ashton did a really nice job coming in and giving us a spark in that game. And I mean, George ends up with 130 yards or whatever it is, but I thought Ashton's really kind of the one that jump-started us in the second quarter. Well, as an offensive coach, when you're in the end of the game like that, it's either going to be 4 minute or 2 minute, 4 minute offense or 2 minute offense. So 4 minute offense, you're trying to waste time, use up clock, and then we were in 4 minute. You're saying we make one first down here. We need to make one more first down. We got the game. All of a sudden, the fumble, they go the other way. You're saying, all right, we're either going to get it back, we're going to be behind, and now we're in 2 minute offense, or it's going to be tied, and we got to get ready for overtime. So the other side of the ball that's not out there, you're making plans for the next series. And, that's to have it happen so quickly from the fumble, run it back, and then the interception on the next play. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of time for too much talking going on. Plus, our headphones were screwed up the whole second half, and all we could hear on the offense was a lot of static. And our headphone man was in panic mode, as were all the coaches most of the second half.
What about Utah State? What do you see in their defense?
Utah State's defense is a lateral, good speed defense. They've got some good pass rushers on the edge. I think they have like 4 returning starters that played. I mean, that was a long time ago when the Broncos played them last September. But they've got a length and speed at the defensive end position. They're smaller in the interior tackles, but quick lateral movement guys. They play a lot of man coverage, so they challenge us in that respect. And they're one of those teams that's they're feisty. I mean, they're battling every game. I mean, they're tough to get angles on because of their speed. And because we're a day behind, we're still kind of right in the middle of that game plan right now.
With Billy Bones, what have you seen out of him over these last 2 games? Because if you look at his efficiency and everything, you guys have targeted him. It's 2 of the best games of his entire career.
Yeah, I think they probably are. And much like when you asked me about the offensive line early in the year, I think it's just one word: confidence. I mean, Billy has been a talented player for a long time. Didn't always get all the targets. But I think he's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and I think he's really feeling himself as a senior and as a leader. Billy was one of the captains for the game, so what a way for him to get the game winner and be a captain. I think he's confident in himself right now, and he knows what to do, he knows how to do it, and he's trusting himself.
As you've gotten to know these kids, like, is there anything that stands out to you about Billy? I mean, he's usually got a smile on his face. He seems like he's a pretty gregarious guy that step between the white lines. Like, all that seems to go away at times, though, too. So is there anything that stands out to you about him?
Yeah, Billy seemed like he was really locked in the other night. I mean, I think he's really I think guys have a tendency. We got senior night, senior morning coming up on Friday. I think these guys, some of these guys can see the end of their college career anyway. And I think, again, and I tell you guys every week, Coach Avalos does a great job of talking to these guys about what it means to the program. And I think our seniors have done a good job with their leadership, and Billy's an example of that.
Green looks like he rolled left pretty well. Is it better than most, especially if you take it as a first-year starter? Because I always thought people usually roll better to the way they want to.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a misnomer about that rolling to your right if you're a right-hander. Actually, when you're rolling to your left, it makes you square your shoulders to your target, and you should be a little bit more accurate. When you're going to your right, you have a tendency for your chest to be going towards the sideline. But Taylin is doing a really good job throwing to his left. The other thing along with that he's doing a good job is even when they have a free hitter or a scraper coming over the top, he's got a great feel for kind of sinking and letting that guy come to him and then still getting the throw off and being accurate. He's done a really good job in that area.
Ben Dooley's been through, obviously, a lot this year. 3 weeks ago, he's playing a couple snaps as an inline tight end. Played 65 snaps, that's 78, I think, on offense. How impressive was that for a guy that, just wants to contribute, obviously?
Yeah, Ben, for the people that know that whole story about what he's fought back from, and the plan was not to play him 68, but Dallas got rolled up on. We were going to rotate him in Dallas. Dallas got rolled up on in the second quarter and wasn't able to return. And so Ben had to play a lot more snaps than originally thought. But he's played a lot of football here. It's great to see him with the importance of the games are right now. We're at the important part of the season. We're in the conference race. We're finishing it up, and to see him getting back to his old self, kind because he's played a lot of good football. It's awesome to see him get to contribute.
Similar question with Taylin, but obviously he missed last year, then came back, and then went out a little bit, and then came back. I mean, what, we're gonna talk to him, I think, tomorrow, but what's kind of, what do you think of his season to this point?
Yeah, well, it's great. It's great to have him back, and that's one thing that injuries do. You hate the injuries in the short term, but when you're getting them back, it's forced us to build depth in the O line, and so we've got a lot of guys to play. I've said this every week. I still don't think we've had our best 5 out there for a game yet, the whole season, just because of Ben's injury and how much time. I mean, I don't think if you looked at what the starting O line was maybe going to be going into this season, I don't think those 5 guys have ever lined up at the same time yet this year. Now, injuries have tweaked that. Other guys have come on, gained experience. There's nothing like experience in the O-line, just like Taylin's going to get better with experience as a redshirt freshman. Those guys that have been around here 4 and 5 years, those are big, strong guys. And the fact that we can move people on the line of scrimmage is definitely a big bonus. And Kakani's leadership, his knowledge, and his toughness are definitely an asset.
I know we asked you about Davis a couple weeks ago, but I assume, I don't know if you will or not, will you get to be out there for his senior day thing out there on the field? And what's that, how special is that moment going to be for you guys?
Well, we were actually out there last year, so I'm not sure what Davis is planning on that. That's his call, and I guess him and his mom will make that decision, and they'll inform me at the proper time.
Last question.
Yeah, I still have one. But what do you think for Dirk? Thanksgiving coming up. What do you think for?
Oh man, I'm thankful for so much. I'm thankful for all the things within my own family, 4 healthy kids, a healthy wife. I got an anniversary coming up. Thank you for just reminding me. Day after Thanksgiving is my anniversary. 34, I think. 34 years. That's a long time. I'm sure she would say it's more like 70. I'm thankful for how this whole experiment has worked out. I was a little nervous when we were down at halftime against San Diego State. But, I have a lot to be thankful for, and it all starts with your health and your family, though.
How did you get married? Thanksgiving football coach day after Thanksgiving?
Coaching at UTEP, married after the last game, little honeymoon recruiting trip to Phoenix, Arizona. What a beautiful honeymoon. Wife hanging in the hotel, me hitting high schools all day. Have a good one.
Is there a rule, like, if your headsets weren't working, like, would the other team have to stop using the headsets?
It's not that they weren't working. They were working. They were just, the static was like the worst headache you could ever imagine. And it's crazy because our defenses were working good. We have 2 lines, and it'd be static on line 1. So we'd switch to line 2. It'd last for like 15 seconds. It'd go static. We'd switch back to line 1. Same thing happened in Nevada, and they thought the line froze, and they got it fixed. Or they thought the line got wet or something. But all you technical